So here is my shade cloth. The final form, I suppose. It's not the original one though. So that one had torn on the one corner. I had it up for a week, but I felt that was really cheap construction. This one is much better. The edges are much more constructed, so they're pretty solid. It's like a double, not only the double stitched, but also like double-sided edging. It's pretty solid. Doesn't have as many grommets, but the grommets seem a little more solid and supportive. Plus, they're not right in the corner, so it shouldn't tear. Not that the corners are really holding out the weight; it just gets fed through the grommets. But yeah, so it took me a little bit, but you know, even the original one was doing a pretty good job. This one still does pretty well. I did move it closer to this building, so that since the sun sets on this side, get a little more shade on more of the day when it's hot. There's a bigger gap, so it was going underneath, but not like it was a huge deal. It was still shaded for a lot of the day. This one decided, since I had to change it anyway, to move it over. The only other problem I'm having now, and it's unrelated to the shade cloth, is the knots I use to hold it up. So I'm using paracord, which is pretty strong, but the knots I'm using slide over time, especially when, you know, in the afternoons when it can get a little breezy, though today is pretty still. In general, hot days, you know, heat rises, wind picks up in the afternoon. Like this weekend, it was kind of hitting hard, and probably 20 miles an hour maybe. And so kind of tugging on my knots a little bit. I don't remember what the name of the knot is I'm currently using, but it's, you know, it's an adjustable knot. It's supposed to be pretty strong, but I think I might go back to the knot I was using before, which was a trucker's knot, or trucker's hitch knot maybe I think it was called. I don't remember. But that one seemed a little more solid. I just have to make sure I have it tight enough in the right spot. It just won't be adjustable, so it might take some trial and error. But this one slipped a little bit, like I said, so I don't know. Might keep it for now and see how much more it slides, but eventually I'll probably just have to switch knots. So anyway, I do like it though. It does much better. The water staying cool, or cooler. It's not, you know, above 80. And I add water to it frequently because it's so dry here. Like today, it's 11% humidity, and it's in the upper 90s, if not low hundreds. I mean, we have quite a bit of evaporation and just there's a lot of surface area, so we lose water. So every couple of days or so, I add in 20 or 30 gallons, maybe a little more if I wait a little longer, just to keep it topped off, which adds cool water, so I'll try to do it in the morning. So make sure it's cooler water, and it helps. So a minor water change. I have like 2,500 gallons in here, I think, so not a huge difference, but you know, it is removing, since it evaporated off some of it. It means that we're adding back in cool water. So at some point, if it starts getting hot again, I can always, you know, pump a bunch of it out and replace it with more cool water. But for now, this seems like a good option. And hopefully, everything will grow back in and much thicker next year. Everything's more established, and it won't be as big a deal. I plan on taking down the shade cloth in the winter, since it's pretty mild. We don't really get snow, but I won't need as much shade and such. Humidity and everything won't be a big deal. So, all right. Anyway, thanks for watching part 2. Talk to you later.